So you may not believe this, but it's true. We are increasing in home prices still. We are at just slightly under 8% interest rate. We have the highest interest rates in over 23 years. And somehow, some way, home prices are still increasing. And I'm gonna go over an article. This article was published by Florida Realtors. And it's really interesting because it's basically saying that in the third quarter, 82% of US metros had increase in pricing. How could that be? Let's go over what they're saying. So aside from 82% of metros having price increases from quarter 2 to quarter 3, 2023, we also saw 11% of those metros having double-digit increases. That's over 10%, or it could be 10% or more. So what really happened? How is this possible? And what happened the quarter before? So what happened in quarter 2, so that would be the difference between quarter 1 and quarter 2, is 58% of metros had price increases. So once again, that is pretty surprising considering all the bad news you're hearing on the news and on the internet. And what is the truth of it? And here's the reality. There's not that many homes for sale. We are increasing in supply, but we don't have enough. I just did a video for all of Florida about how our inventory is rising, but it's still coming up short. So basically, we have stats here that are showing that our home prices are accelerating, from this year. So in quarter 2, 5% of the metro areas had double-digit increases. Right now, we're at 11%. This is quarter 3, 11%. So that is showing, that there's more areas increasing in price. So the chief economist of the National Association of Realtors, Lawrence Yun, said the persistent lack of available homes on the market will make the dream of home ownership increasingly difficult for younger adults unless a housing supply is significantly boosted. So, that is the truth. I've been kind of talking about this for a while, that if our holy shit, there's a f***ing gator. See ya, gator. Damn, bro. Damn, I kind of want to go check it out. Guy just jumped right in here. Oh, he right there. He right there. Well, this is Florida. Wasn't expecting to run into a 7 or 8 foot gator on my walk. Anyway, let's get back into this. So he's saying that unless our housing supply is significantly boosted, and the question I ask is does it look like it's gonna get boosted in the near future? And I'm happy to say I think so. I think our housing supply will get boosted. There's been this long-term pain that's been happening, and a lot of people are not selling their home, and time will squeeze them dry, if I could say that. Basically, over time, eventually people will need to do something. So those homes that are not being listed and sold are eventually going to get listed and sold. And we've actually seen that for the last year or so. For about almost a year and a half, 2 years, our housing supply has continually increased. And now that it's increased, where the numbers that it's at right now, for Florida is a 4-month supply. So it was like a 2-week supply just 2.5 years ago. So it is increasing. One of the reasons why it's increasing is because the interest rates keep going up. And they just went down last week or 2 weeks ago or so. And I do think that's just temporary, but hopefully not. Hopefully the interest rates decrease and people will list their homes, will move. Because as interest rates decrease, what's going to happen is a lot of people sitting on the fence are going to make the move. That's not just buyers, that's also sellers. There's a lot of sellers out there that say, I'm not trading my 4% for an 8%, but they might trade their 4% for a 5.5%. I know I would. I have a 3.25, but that's a different story. So there's a lot of people out there that actually would make a move, and then housing supply would go up, and then it would come right back down. In fact, if the rates stay low, let's just say 5.5, the housing supply will go down and down and down. Another thing that was mentioned by this chief economist, for the National Association of Realtors, is with consumer inflation becoming more manageable, the Federal Reserve needs to consider cutting interest rates. So, think about it like this. If you start hearing a lot of good news on the news saying that the inflation is getting under control and expectations of inflation start going down, and then they're met or exceeded with lower inflation, then the Federal Reserve is probably going to lower interest rates, and that's going to create what I just talked about, a bunch of people buying homes, and then a whole bunch of people selling homes too, which would be a nice little push to the economy, a little boost to the economy. It would also be a big boost to a lot of ancillary businesses like general contractors. Those people are very much dependent on homes being sold, because every time someone sells or is thinking about listing or buys a home, they do a lot of upgrades and repairs, and that just starts boosting Home Depot and all the supply chains. So just lowering the interest rates doesn't just affect the home sales. It affects a lot of people. So I am pro lowering the interest rates, because a lot of people win in that situation. Now let's talk about which metros had the largest price increases, and it's actually surprising. Not out of the top 10 list, not one is in Florida. But let's go into this here. Number 1, Fond du Lac in Wisconsin, almost 19%. Then the Hickory area in North Carolina. Then another Wisconsin, Oshkosh, Neenah. Then Paris Bay, Wisconsin. Then Reading, Pennsylvania. Then York, New Jersey. Dayton, Ohio. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Farmington, New Mexico. And Kankakee, Illinois. So all of these areas, are not on the coastline. So not on the East Coast, not on the West Coast. So it looks like people are kind of going into the more affordable markets, which those ones are going to become less affordable as the prices increase double digits. Then they mentioned the 10 most expensive U.S. markets in the third quarter. Get this. Now, these aren't the ones that had the biggest decreases or increases or anything like that. These are just the most expensive. Listen to this. San Jose, California. Number 2, Anaheim, California. Number 3, San Francisco, California. So far, the top 3 are Cali. Honolulu, Hawaii. Then we have San Diego, California. Salinas, California. Then we have Ventura, California, Glendale, California, San Luis Obispo, California, and Boulder, Colorado. Literally 8 out of 10 are California. So these numbers are showing exactly what the people are doing, and they are leaving California because they live literally in the most expensive areas. 8 out of 10 of the most expensive metro areas are in California. Then 1 in Hawaii, 1 in Colorado. And obviously Hawaii is pretty expensive, and so is Colorado. The last thing I'll talk about is the declines. So it is saying that less than 1/5 of the markets, just 17%, had experienced price declines in the third quarter. And in the second quarter, it was actually 41%. So it looks like things are turning around. In the third quarter, things turned around quite a bit. Only 17% are having declines, 82% having increases. And of course, house affordability decreased. It worsened in the third quarter because of increasing home prices and the mortgage rates. So that's obvious, that's kind of common sense, but if you're not familiar with it, interest rates go up, it costs more to buy a house. But usually prices decrease when that happens, and in this case, prices are increasing along with interest rate increases. Double whammy. So housing is becoming less affordable for people. So if you're a seller, I would say consider selling. If you're not sure what to do exactly, whether you should sell or whether you should wait, there's more people buying. Home prices keep going up. How long are they going to do that? Who knows? But if you have to sell, the way I look at it is like this, and I'll end with this. If it's your primary residence and you got to move, or you want to move, and you really want to move, just move, because you're not going to be able to time the market. That's what people try to do with stocks. That's what people try to do with housing. you're not going to be able to do it. And if you do succeed in timing the market, consider yourself to be a lucky minority, because the majority of the people do not time the market. They lose out on that. They could have sold for more, could have sold for less, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just move. If you got to move, then move.